From Stalin's prison to World War II hero, the untold journey of Marshal Rokossovsky, he was tortured by his own country and then led it to victory. Discover the unbelievable story of one of the Soviet Union's most brilliant military minds. Full name is Konstantin Konstantinovich Rokossovsky, 1896-1968. Was a Soviet and Polish military commander. Renowned as one of the Red Army's most prominent generals during World War II, he achieved the ranks of Marshal of the Soviet Union and Marshal of Poland, playing a pivotal role in several key battles. Military career: World War I, 1914–1917. Born in Warsaw, then part of the Russian Empire, or Veliki Luki, Rokossovsky enlisted in the Imperial Russian Army in 1914, serving in the 5th Kargopol Dragoon Regiment. His patronymic, Kasavarevich, was Russified to Konstantinovich for ease of pronunciation. He fought as a cavalryman, earning recognition as a brave and resolute soldier, and rose to the rank of junior non-commissioned officer by the war's end. Konstantin Rokossovsky's role in the Russian Civil War, 1917–1922, was a formative period in his military career, where he established himself as a capable and brave commander in the Bolshevik Red Army. The Russian Civil War. 1917–1922, the Russian Civil War was a multifaceted conflict that erupted after the Bolshevik Revolution of October 1917, which overthrew the Russian Provisional Government. It pitted the Bolshevik Red Army against a diverse coalition of anti-Bolshevik forces, collectively known as the White Army, alongside foreign interventionists, regional separatists, and other factions. The war was fought across the vast Russian Empire from the Baltic to Siberia and the Far East, and was marked by brutal fighting, political purges, and widespread devastation. The main phases and factions include Red Army, led by the Bolsheviks under Vladimir Lenin and Leon Trotsky, aiming to consolidate Soviet power and establish a socialist state. White Army, a loose coalition of monarchists, liberals, and anti-Bolshevik socialists, supported by foreign powers like Britain, France, the United States, and Japan, who sought to overthrow the Bolsheviks. Included the Green Army's peasant rebels, anarchist groups like Nestor Makhno's Black Army, and nationalist movements in regions like Ukraine, Poland, and the Caucasus. Hide powers intervened to support the whites, fearing the spread of communism while also pursuing their own geopolitical interests. The war lasted from late 1917 to 1922, with major fighting ending by 1920, though skirmishes persisted in the Far East until 1922. It resulted in a Bolshevik victory, solidifying the Soviet Union's formation, but at a cost of millions of lives due to combat, famine, and disease. Rokossovsky's role in the Russian Civil War. Konstantin Rokossovsky, born in 1896, joined the Bolshevik cause in 1917. Transitioning from his service in the Imperial Russian Army during World War I, his decision to align with the Reds was influenced by the Bolshevik promise of social reform, appealing to his background as a Pole from a modest family. His military experience as a cavalryman and junior non-commissioned officer in the 5th Kargopol Dragoon Regiment gave him valuable skills that he brought to the Red Army. 1917, joining the Red Army after the October Revolution, Rokossovsky joined the Red Guards, the Bolsheviks' initial paramilitary force. In late 1917, the Red Guards were composed of workers, soldiers, and volunteers committed to defending the revolution. His Cavalry Forum. I can provide a chart visualizing key events in Konstantin Rokossovsky's Russian Civil War participation, if you like. However, since detailed numerical data for his specific engagements is sparse or unavailable, a chart may not be feasible without making assumptions. Would you like me to create a timeline-style chart of his major activities during the Civil War? Period 1920 to 1930, Rokossovsky attended the Leningrad Higher Cavalry School, 1924 to 1925, where he met Georgy Zhukov, a future key figure in his career. He served in Mongolia as a trainer for the Mongolian People's Army and participated in the Russo-Chinese Eastern Railroad War 1929–1930 under Vasily Bleicher. By the early 1930s, he commanded the 7th Samara Cavalry Division, with Semyon Timoshenko as his chorus commander and Zhukov as a brigade commander under him. Great Purge 1937–1940. In 1937, Rokossovsky was arrested during Stalin's purges, accused of being a Polish and Japanese spy. He endured imprisonment and torture, including broken fingers, cracked ribs, and mock executions. He escaped execution by proving that a key accuser, Adolf Yushkevich, had died in 1920, undermining the false charges. Released in March 1942. To the Soviet Union's need for experienced officers after the Winter War, he was reinstated and promoted to Major General World War II, 1941 to 1945, Rokossovsky's World War II career was marked by strategic brilliance and resilience, contributing significantly to Soviet victories. He played major roles in several critical operations: 1941, Operation Barbarossa, in defense of Moscow as commander of the 9th Mechanized Corps under the Southwestern Front. Rokossovsky faced the German invasion with limited tanks. His forces engaged in the Lutsk-Gubno-Brody Triangle, wearing down German units despite being forced to retreat under orders. Battle of Smolensk, July-August 1941, Rokossovsky formed Group Yart-Sevo from surviving units, successfully lifting the blockade of encircled Soviet troops. His tactical ingenuity helped stabilize the front. Battle of Moscow, October-December 1941, commanding the 16th Army, Rokossovsky defended the Volokholamsk approach to Moscow. Despite shortages of troops and equipment, he organized a robust defensive line, thwarting the German advance. His efforts earned him the Order of Lenin, and he was promoted to lieutenant general. In December 1941, he contributed to the Soviet counteroffensive that pushed German forces back 100 to 250 kilometers from Moscow, 1942, Operation Fall Blau and Stalingrad retreat to the Don Day. In early 1942, Rokossovsky was seriously wounded by shrapnel, damaging his liver, lung, and spine. After 2 months of recovery, he returned to command the 16th Army. Operation Uranus and Battle of Stalingrad, November 1942, February 1943, as commander of the Don Front. Rokossovsky developed and executed Operation Uranus, encircling General Paulus's German 6th Army at Stalingrad. This operation was a turning point, leading to the surrender of over 90,000 German troops. His strategic planning and execution earned him widespread acclaim. 1943, Battle of Kursk, appointed commander of the Central Front. Rokossovsky played a critical role in the Battle of Kursk, July-August 1943, a massive tank battle. Using intelligence to pinpoint the German offensive's main thrust, he organized a strong defensive line, repelling the attack. His success at Kursk marked a turning point in the war. He was promoted to colonel general and later general. Operation Bagration, June-August 1944. Commanding the 1st Belarusian Front, Rokossovsky masterminded Operation Bagration, a massive Soviet offensive in Belarus. He insisted on a dual penetration strategy, overcoming Stalin's preference for a single breakthrough. The operation annihilated German Army Group Center, liberating Belarus and advancing Soviet forces to the Vistula River. Rokossovsky was promoted to Marshal of the Soviet Union on June 29, 1944, for this success. Warsaw Uprising, August-September 1944, Rokossovsky's forces reached the outskirts of Warsaw but did not intervene in the Polish Home Army's uprising against German occupation. This decision, likely driven by Stalin's orders, remains controversial, as it allowed the Germans to crush the uprising. Weakening Polish resistance. Forget to like, comment, and subscribe. 1945, East Prussia and Pomerania, commanding the 2nd Belarusian Front, Rokossovsky led the East Prussian and East Pomeranian offensives, advancing into northern Poland and Germany. His forces reached the Oder River and linked up with British Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery's 2nd Army in Wismar, Germany, on May 3, 1945. Victory Parade, June 1945. Rokossovsky commanded the Victory Parade in Moscow's Red Square, riding alongside Georgy Zhukov, symbolizing his status as a leading Soviet commander post-war. Career Poland, 1945 to 1956. After the war, Rokossovsky commanded Soviet forces in Poland 1945 to 1949 and was appointed Polish Minister of National Defense in 1949, receiving the title of Marshal of Poland. He also served as Deputy Chairman of the Council of Ministers 1952 to 1954. His tenure was controversial. As he was seen as a Soviet enforcer, he oversaw the creation of a modern Polish military, but also implemented harsh measures, including forced labor battalions for undesirable Poles, resulting in significant casualties. In June 1956, he led the suppression of worker protests in Poznań, and after Władysław Gomułka's rise to power in October 1956, Rokossovsky was expelled from Poland amid anti-Soviet sentiment returned to the Soviet Union. 1956–1968, back in the USSR, Rokossovsky served as Deputy Minister of Defense, 1956–1962, and commander of the Transcaucasian Military District. He retired in 1962 and died of prostate cancer on August 3, 1968. His ashes are interred in the Kremlin Wall necropolis. Konstantin Rokossovsky died on August 3, 1968. In Moscow, Soviet Union, at the age of 71, the cause of death was prostate cancer, which he had been battling in his final years. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more military, Navy, and geopolitical updates.